What I'm about to tell you is 100% true. I'm gonna tell you how to play a game, but as a fellow human, I must warn you beforehand. Please, don't try this. A friend told me about a website that I shall not mention here. It is there that I found a list of peculiar challenges. I scrolled through them nonchalantly for a while. It was your typical stuff: midnight challenges and board games. I was about to leave when one particular post caught my eye. It was something called the Game of Questions. The fascinating thing about it wasn't necessarily the challenge itself, it was the reward for winning. See, the challenge involved a ritual through which I would summon an entity known simply as the Question Man. I would have to play a game against him, and if I won, I would get to ask him 3 questions. I could ask him anything at all, and he would answer them truthfully. How to become successful, how to get the job I always wanted, how to cheat my own death. And so I decided to give it a try. I knew it wouldn't work, but things weren't going so well for me, so here we go. Well, first things first, the rules and requirements. This website told me to get 2 chairs of the same kind, a kilogram of salt, any kind, a bowl of ice cold water, a sharp knife, a piece of black clothing. This could be anything from a sock to a shirt, a candle, a timed clock, a food item, preferably meat, bills of money, and a blindfold. Place the chairs in an empty room or outside. Place them back to back so the seats cannot see each other. Form a circle using the salt around the chairs. Place a candle in front of you, but do not light it yet. Place everything in front of you, close enough so that you can grab them without having to leave the chair. Memorize where each item is placed, enough so that you can reach out with your eyes closed and find each of them. Now, before you begin, set an alarm clock to ring at exactly 12 past 2 a.m. just after midnight. At exactly 5 past 7, wear the blindfold and chant the following words 3 times. I challenge you to a game of questions. Do you accept? If he accepts, you will feel a breeze of wind blow which will put out the candle. You will feel it go out. Now, at this point, either the candle will relight or it won't. If it relights, you will feel an intense heat near your face, and the game has started. If it doesn't, however, then grab the knife and slit your wrists. If you use any other method to kill yourself, then, my friend, he will have you, and your fate will be worse than death. Once the candle is relit, count out loud from 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will hear a raspy voice say the number 6, and chills will run down your spine when you hear it. This is when you must remove your blindfold. However, do not under any circumstance open your eyes, not even by accident. The game has begun, and your goal is to keep your eyes shut until that alarm rings. Sounds easy, doesn't it? An uncertain amount of time will pass in silence until you begin to feel comfortable. This is just a ruse to get you to open your eyes. Don't fall for it. And for heaven's sake, do not fall asleep at any point during the game. It is a sleep you will not wake up from. Finally, you will hear a voice. It will be a surprising voice, as you will know exactly who the person speaking is. The voice will be easily recognizable. It will be someone close to you, someone very near and dear to your heart. A friend, a family member, anyone. The voice will say,
Are you there?
do not respond to it. It is the Question Man, disguising his voice as the voice of the person close to you. The question will be repeated to you several times, but you mustn't answer. If you do, you will lose. If you open your eyes, you will lose. The voice will then ask you questions in a confused voice. They will sound exactly as the person, with all the quirkiness and mannerisms of their voice that you've become to know and love.
What are you doing here? Come help me with the dishes. Did you forget to park the car again?
You mustn't fall for it. If you've made it past 10, then you'll hear him say,
in a real, raspy voice from hell. At this point, reach out for the money bills with your eyes closed, of course, and tear them in half. If you hear him clap at this, then the game is continuing. And you haven't broken any rules. If, however, you've broken any of the rules at this point, instead of a clap, you'll hear a low growl, like that of a wild beast. If that happens, grab the food item and slide it to his side. If you hear him take the food and eat it, the game will continue. However, if the growling grows louder, then simply grab a knife and slit your wrists. If you've survived thus far, congratulations, you're in the final phase of the game. At this point, there will be another stretch of prolonged silence. Survivors have claimed that this is the part they felt the drowsiest in. The heaviness of sleepiness will fall on you, but you must not fall asleep. One moment off guard and you will slip into eternal slumber. You must fight it, and you must do it without opening your eyes. You will hear the person closest and dearest to you scream your name. They will scream at you for help at the top of their lungs. You will hear that sound of flesh being ripped apart. The person will start questioning your sanity, how you could be so cold and distant, sitting in a chair with your eyes closed while they are being devoured alive. Some people have reported hearing their loved ones burn alive in this situation. Tears will fill your eyes, but you must resist the urge to open them. One glance, one momentary look is all he needs to win this game. Ignoring your loved one's dying cry for help will be the hardest thing you will ever have to do, but you must do it, or you will face atrocities that the human mind cannot fathom.
Have you lost your mind? Are you going to let me die?
There will now be multiple voices of everyone close to you trying to save the one closest to you from death, and they will all be calling out to you for help. Some will be close enough that you will be able to feel their breath brush against your cheek. If you manage to resist it long enough, an eternity as stated by the survivors, then you will hear their voices stop all at once. The moment he says the number 9, and just before he begins to say 10, you must grab the piece of black clothing, dip it into the bowl of water, and dab your face with it. You will have the shortest time to do it, but this is the only way you get to open your eyes. The gap between those two numbers will be very short, which is why you must practice this act beforehand. If you fail to do it in time, then you know where the knife is, and you know what to do. However, if you manage to press the wet cloth to your face before the question man says 10, you will feel the water to be as cold as it was when you started the game. You will hear another round of claps. Congratulations, you've won the game of questions. You can now open your eyes. In front of you, instead of one candle, there will now be 2. Take a look at your watch. You will still have some time remaining before it hits 12 past 2. This could be anywhere from 5 minutes to half an hour. Use this time wisely. It is now your turn to ask him the questions. Just don't turn